And here we are, guys. We have finally reached a historic milestone. It's a very, very special, important day for myself. You guys know me, Danny Torres, of course, Brandon, and then we got Janka. Guys, today is episode number 100. Uh, so before I get into it, I just want to say from last week, I missed last week. I know Brandon stated it that I was going through some personal issues with my family, and I appreciate Brandon, you taking over the show on that night, and Jonka as well for being there. You guys don't know, my grandfather passed away last weekend, and we put him to rest on Saturday. But he knew the 100th episode was coming, and he would have been extremely proud of all of us and all the work that we have been doing, just the entire team in general. So again, I thank you guys, the ones who reached out and the ones who went to the funeral and stuff like that. Just thank you for your constant prayers and stuff like that. I really appreciate it. And then just for everyone in general, I mean, this is 100 episodes throughout the course of 2 years. I can't even like describe, man. I mean, this started out filming in my garage to, different stages, being partnered up with Lemon City and then going our own way and having this built to what it is today. And it's fantastic, man. I mean, when I created Plug Talk Sports in general, and this is just aside from the show, which was about 4 years now, I think, I was like, I didn't think this was going to be much. It was just me and the microphone just talking and just created Instagram and stuff like that. But, people started once it started catching on and you made merchandise and stuff like that, it became there we go. Brandon's got the shirt. Can't forget the shirt. It started to get real, and it's a week in, week out thing now. It's an everyday thing, honestly, and I just can't thank those enough who have supported Plug Talk Sports throughout the 4 years and the 2 years of the show. It's humbling, and I'm very grateful. And here's to another 100 episodes. It'll take another 2 years, but here's to another 100 episodes. And I just want to single my team out. So I'll start with Janka. Man, when I first started Plug Talk Sports, Janka was a follower. He liked the Plug Talk Sports stuff, and when I needed help with stuff, he would help me out. And and then once I started the show, we have the seriousness, or we already have the seriousness of like the sports analyst, like me and Brandon, like the seriousness of the sports analyst side and stuff like that. And I started to think to myself, what could make this show lighter? Like what would make it more fun? I mean, it was already fun, but what would make it more fun? And I think Janka's personality just matched that. Having someone on here who, is gonna make people laugh. Sometimes he doesn't intend to make you laugh. He's just pissed off about certain situations, and he ends up making you laugh.
Guilty.
That's what we needed. We needed someone like that. So Janka, thank you, man, for these being part of these 100 episodes.
My pleasure.
Brandon, man. So Brandon was a commentator at FIU. Sadly, we didn't get to commentate together at FIU. I would have loved that, because I guarantee you, if you would have put me and Brandon together, which it has happened. It has happened. Someone reached out from this app called Colorcast, and they wanted us to. And actually, here's Isaac.
Hey,
Isaac, I was just singling the team out, man, and I was just giving them their flowers. But Brandon, yeah, we commentated once in a Monday Night Football game. It was Dolphins and Saints. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I do. I even had a Waddle joke in the middle of that one. I remember too.
You did, and I just thought to myself after that game, I was like, dude, if me and Brandon ever end up working together, everyone else is dead, bro. Like that's it. That is it. That's a power commentating couple right there, man. It was great, and Brandon, especially with NBA, he's always gonna make you think. He gets on my damn nerve sometimes. Stupid Celtics, bro, like on my damn nerve. But every Monday night, he has stayed committed. He's come on here and he's been prepared. And he's give really good, insightful knowledge about whatever topic that we're talking about, and I love that. I absolutely love that. I'm a super knowledgeable geek. I love all that stuff. And he just brings it every single Monday night. And so, man, I thank you for just being prepared and being committed to this, every single week, man, and writing articles and stuff like that. I know it's not easy, you got other things going on, but you have stayed committed to this. So I thank you, man, for just trusting me and trusting all this and being a part of it, dude. You've definitely helped a ton.
No, yeah, absolutely. And not even that, if I can also say one thing in the sense of flowers. I mean, Daniel, for you to even be creating this, sticking to this for the past few years, I mean, it's miraculous, honestly, though. I mean, not a lot of people have the privilege to be able to write, to broadcast, to podcast. But here we are, 100th episode, though. So I'm really happy to do it, with guys like you, though.
Thank you, man. And Isaac, first of all, let's give a congratulations to Isaac, because Isaac today proposed to his girlfriend and will be getting married next year, right? It's gonna be next year.
So I hope you guys, have a little patience with me. We're actually shooting for 2025.
Okay.
And,
Nice.
The reason why, a wedding takes so much planning, catering, who's the DJ? Maybe Jonka could be the DJ. I don't know, but the reception, so much planning. My girlfriend is my fiance is super crazy with planning and everything. So she's shooting for 2025. I'm with it, but I don't want my, this is great, right, for me, but I don't want it to steal the spotlight of our 100th episode. But yeah, no, it was a great opportunity today. I took her out to a butterfly garden. So girls love butterflies and nature and all that cool stuff. So she was taking pictures of the butterflies, and I was just waiting for her to turn around. And I was already waiting, with the ring on one knee. I don't even know what I said. Everything's been a blur today. But the first two sentences, I was just stumbling, mumbling, whatever. And I'm like, just, will you marry me? And she was crying. I was crying. We hugged it out. And everybody on social media will get all the pictures tomorrow and stuff. But yeah, I got it out of the way today for sure.
So, hey, man, it's a huge congratulations. I've been, grateful to know you. And I know Emily, but I know you more. But I've been grateful to know the both of you. And, dude, where do I even start, man? You and I go way back. Funny enough, Brandon, me and Isaac actually met at FIU too.
Really?
I remember walking into our producer's office and looking at this guy straight up, bro, it was built like a freaking tank. And I was like, yo, who is this guy? This guy looks like the Hulk over here. But look, man, and then once I told him I went to Columbus and he went to Coral Gables, started giving me a bunch of crap about it. But yep. Man, this guy became one of my closest friends and someone I can always talk to. And sometimes we just pick up the phone and then we just talk to each other. And whether it's, talking about soccer and he's complaining about how bad Manchester United is. And then I tell him about all the great things Real Madrid is doing. And he tells me, screw you. But dude, it's been a long journey, man. He's just a nice guy and somebody that I grew close to. And, he has seen, my personal life and, working together, which also was amazing, getting able to work with him. It was great. I miss those days. Those days were fun. being at, a whole bunch of sporting events, and this guy was in my ears sometimes when our producer was out, and he was my producer, and we're getting back to get on air, and he would say some stupid crap, and like, there were 2 seconds there, by the way, and I'm like trying to hold my laugh so bad. It was great, man. It was great, and him being a part of this, he's been a big part of this, man. I mean, he's produced so many videos for us. I don't know if you remember, dude, we started out with my garage, and I remember he was there for the first episode. You had the camera, the tripod. So Isaac's been a very, very big part of this, and I love him like a brother. So thank you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey. If I'm not mistaken, I think since 2018 you've done the show. I know you started the show by yourself.
Yeah,
just
I did.
doing everything on your phone, on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I remember when we first met, that's one of the first things you showed me was the podcast on Spotify. And we got our heads together and we started doing the videos and stuff in your garage. And it's just funny, man, like how far we've come. And now we have Jonka and Brandon, just killing it every month. Even if I'm not here, even if Danny, yourself not here, these 2 guys, they write articles, they do their thing.
100%.
And kind of keep us afloat. And we've had many guests on the show. I mean, it's incredible since 2018 how far we've come, and 100 episodes. Here we are. It's really exciting.
100%, man. Now let's have some fun.
Yep.
And let's start with Jonka.
Oh boy.
Your top 5 favorite Plug Talk Sports moments.
Knowing me, you guys know me from all the episodes. I'm a spontaneous kind of guy. So I'm doing this off the rip. All right.
I had to write these down, man. There was too many. I had to write them down.
All right. I think number 5 will be when we were ranking Miami's worst players ever.
I remember this.
Yeah, that's an all-time.
This guy said Giancarlo Stanton.
Oh, I remember this now.
Greg Oden, Jay Cutler, and
Jay
some
Cutler.
other 2 that nobody cares for.
All right, number 4
is when I had to go off on Udonis Haslem for saying that he's not taking up a roster spot. I wonder how that works out now, buddy. Number 3, it would have to be. Oh my god, I forgot which week it was. It was when made the final 4, and I did the plug talk of the week, and we talked about it on. So that was my 3rd. Number 2. Number 2 was once Miami had beaten Boston. This was just a couple weeks ago. Miami had beaten Boston in Game 7.
Brandon knows, bro.
You didn't have to say a couple weeks ago either, man. Thanks for reminding me a couple weeks back.
And then number 1, it was obviously my first ever episode. I'm like, Daniel just sent me an email, clicked on it, didn't know what was going on. Oh yeah, your microphone, your camera's working okay. Enter broadcast, and all of a sudden I'm just like waiting on Brandon. I've never met Brandon, never talked to him in my life, and all I see like, yo, what's up? Hey. The entire hour of, and I'm like, yeah, cool dude.
All right, Brandon, you're up. Your top 5.
Well, I mean, thank you, Jonka, for putting me in the top 10, man, top 5. But okay, so top 5. I think at number 5, the UD rant from Jonka. I think that's an all-time great. No lie, 15 minutes straight. Carmelo Anthony should be in the Heat. Why is UD here? The man is losing hair as he loses time. I mean, it was an all-time rant. Number 4, I would definitely have to say the Panthers and the coverage we did when they were going to the Stanley Cup Finals run.
Sure,
Very recent, but man, what a historic run it was. 3, funny enough, because all this is really recent, but the live coverage we did of Jimmy Butler's game against
my
56 first round against Milwaukee.
We were losing our minds.
We were losing our mind. That was a live one. We had a little broadcast on the side, a little bit of analysts back and forth about that one. So that was a really unique way of broadcasting. But the two, I have to say, besides, of course, my first time being on this podcast, the big interviews we got in the past 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Blake was here at number 2. It was awesome to hear about him and Braxton Berrios. And, of course, again, we're all from South Florida, so we always have that tie. But number 1, Tymel Murphy, former FIU basketball player.
That was dope.
International player, and I believe now he's in South America playing ball.
Yeah.
But also a poet in his own right. So that was an incredible interview. For those who haven't seen it, definitely look over to our socials and our YouTube to double check. Of course, that's been probably, about a year ago we did that interview?
Yeah, it's still there. You could have to scroll down on our YouTube, all of our episodes, but it's there.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely worth the watch. If you're into international basketball, poetry, and just in general, the journey that it is, it was just incredible.
Isaac, your top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I have to bring up a couple of weeks ago as well. Brandon, I wrote these down, so I'll say how I wrote it. Brandon going up against the 3 of us Heat fans during the NBA playoffs, just in general, I guess. It was like Thanos versus the Avengers. Number 2, shout out to Jonka. I think, so this is just one. Actually, one of 2 Jonka's moments. Blowing up on the Marlins in the offseason, asking for players.
Yeah.
And I think they were listening because now we have 2 players going to the All-Star game. So shout out to Jonka.
They were watching. They understand.
Kind of in the same lane as Brandon with one of our guests. Number 4 for me is number 3 is the time that we had Anthony Martinez, the MMA fighter, on. I thought that was pretty cool. Something different, a South Florida kid as well, getting on the show to show his stuff. Number 4, the time Danny and I debated about Ronaldo leaving Manchester United. I thought that was a really fun episode. Ronaldo had just done his interview with Piers Morgan. Yep, I felt some kind of way about it as a Man U fan. Danny felt some way about it as a Ronaldo fan. And man, to this day, we still argue about that.
This is true.
And then lastly, but not least, anytime we got a chance to take a shot at Jonka's Patriots last season, Jonka just, talking about the quarterback situation or, just the playoff run that they didn't have or whatever, like, anytime Jonka blew up about his Patriots, it's always fun. It's always fun.
What's funny about that is that, and Jonka knows this is true. Jonka can admit to this. Just a couple of days ago, I sent him a reel or something. It was on Twitter. The Patriots trying to do throwing laterals back when they were playing the Raiders. And this guy threw it straight up to a Raiders player, and he took it all the way back to win the game. Yeah. I sent it to Jonka, and I'm like, man, you guys suck.
That's almost as bad as those 2 Florida players blocking each other. or trying to tackle each other against Tennessee a few years ago.
Patricia.
All right, here's my 5, and I'm going to start with 5. And now these are not specifically only from the show. This is from Plug Talk Sports in general. Okay. Isaac helped out with this one. It's when we covered the Miami Heat COVID vaccination event. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? That was super cool, man. The people over the Heat organization were super nice. We got interviews with people who were coming in to get vaccinated. We talked to people from the organization. It was just overall a really cool experience. And Isaac put that package together, and it was really cool. Number 4 is Jonka at the beginning of the NBA season saying he would never watch Miami Heat basketball for the entire season. And every time we talked about the Heat on here, Jonka would be like, Oh, really? Oh, that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. I'm not watching Heat basketball. I'm not doing it. So I love that. This one's a little. Isaac might remember this one. This one's a little older as well. But and Brandon, this did happen. I pissed off a Marlins legend, and that was Dontrell Willis through Plug Talk Sports Twitter. So
say, what did you tweet? Like,
so when the Marlins came out with their red jerseys, the sugarcane jerseys, he had tweeted about it and through the Plug Talk Sports Twitter, and I thought that was on my personal Twitter, then I realized it was the Plug Talk Sports Twitter. I said that I disliked these so much and I didn't like them. And he felt some sort of way about it, and he responded, and he was like, "Hey man, I wasn't asking for your opinion." And I'm like, I just pissed off Dontrell Willis, and I love the guy. I didn't mean to piss him off.
We gotta be careful. We gotta be careful out there, man.
Oh man. Number 2 would have to be our first ever barbershop talk, which that was great, man. It was just the 3 barbers, or 2 barbers, actually, I say. In the shop that work in the shop. That was great, man, to hear their stories and stuff like that. It was great. And then number 1 for me, our first episode ever. Isaac in my garage with the tripod, the camera, and we were just in there in the garage. We didn't know how this was going to go. We were just like, all right, we're just going to talk for an hour and just put this shit together and see what comes out. But obviously we're 100 episodes in, so it went good. So that's my number 1. Now, this is a very important moment. There's 3 people who I went back into our socials. I went into our reviews of our show, our stats of our show, through our viewers, who has been the most consistent. And our loyal viewers and loyal on social media. These 3 people, courtesy of Plug Talk Sports, will be given Starbucks gift cards, courtesy of us. So Brian Gonzalez is one of them. Nice. Number 2, and this is their social media handle, Eddie305. You'll be getting one. And Just Cam 50, you'll be getting one as well. I already have gotten your emails. I talked to you guys before the show, and at the end of the night, by the end of the night, you guys will have a digital Starbucks gift card in your emails that you guys can use, courtesy of Plug Talk Sports, just as our, to show our gratitude and your thanks for, being consistent and loyal through our social media, and of course, through our show. So thank you guys. I hope you guys, enjoy whatever you guys get at Starbucks, whether it's coffee or whatever. I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's talk about, now that we got through our little celebration phase, let's talk about a little bit of sports, shall we? This NBA tournament, let me tell you, man, they're trying to rebrand into soccer, because when I heard the NBA Cup, I was like, what is this, soccer? And then what gets me is that Jonka was like, oh, yeah, but if they win the cup, you'll probably get something like the first pick or something like that. It's for nothing. They're like, oh, yeah, you just win the cup. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever. You know what this is? This is a highway robbery and cash grab. And you know where the final of the championship is? Las Vegas. Las Vegas has been doing a cash grab in every single sport in the last 2 to 3 years. So I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. And like Jonka said, this is just another way for LeBron and the Lakers to win an NBA Cup and then to say, hey, he's better than Jordan. Jordan doesn't have an NBA Cup. So I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I honestly, because for those who have listened to me onto this Plug Talk, I hate the idea. I don't like the idea of like changing tradition that much with the NBA. The play-in tournament, something that, again, I was at first a huge doubter of the NBA tournament success until later on it actually turned out to be something good, which honestly I think is going to stick now and forever. But this play-in tournament, just the details of it. We're talking about in the month of November, every Tuesdays and Fridays, there's going to be in-season tournament games as if they're just regular season games with a little bit more oomph to them, right? And then that's going to result in, these 3 groups out of each conference. So overall 6, them going to this knockout round stage during the regular season to now going to what basically is a Final Four in December in Vegas. I take 3 things away from this. 1, there's no incentive. There's no money towards the players or any of the teams, so there's no real benefit to it. 2, if Adam Silver, what he tells us, wants to build the brand into something that's similar to an international tournament, someone that can, be a global game, this isn't the way. This isn't a way you market a league to be attractive globally. This is just something out of random. Like Champions League means something. Yeah. Europa means something, right? This means nothing, especially in the regular season. And then the third thing, which I think is the most important, Las Vegas will never find an NBA team. This, from what we saw in recent years with the Aces coming around, with Summer League and also the success of the NBA fan base that we saw going out west, especially in Nevada with all these, the Oakland A's are coming in. The Raiders have been there for, 2 to 3 years. The NBA team was next, right next to the Golden Knights in T-Mobile Arena possibly. I don't think that's ever going to happen now. I think all that stuff is just a build-up for this in-season tournament. If Vegas is going to be the host of it, I doubt there's going to be a lot of fanfare in the next few years. Okay, cool. I get to see the Golden State Warriors go against the Minnesota Timberwolves or something like that for the Cup.
Hey, I tell you what, you know why they're not going to add a franchise to Las Vegas? They can't have Vegas franchise players, hanging around Britney Spears and their security, slapping them in the face. That can't happen.
That's in its own discussion as its own. The fact that Wembanyama has been here for less than a month in the States and Britney stands doing graphics of her dunking over Wemby, it's tragic. It really is.
Jonka, Isaac, what do you guys think about this NBA Cup?
You go, Isaac.
I actually feel differently. And I honestly, I'm just looking this up now. And I don't know what this means. Maybe this doesn't mean actual money. Maybe it doesn't. But it says prizing and league honors. It says in-season tournament prize. The in-season tournament prize pool will be allocated to the players on the teams that participate in the knockout rounds, with allocations increasing depending on how far a team progresses. I'm not sure if allocations is just a magical word and it means nothing, or it means money. If it means money, great. These players are going to be playing it for a supposed cup championship. They should be paid. The teams should win some kind of money at the end of the day, right? But I like it. I did see some comments, though, saying, the NBA is bringing the Carabao Cup to the NBA, which is hilarious because, if you love watching Premier League soccer, and if you hate Manchester United, that's another reason to hate them because they won that cup. But anyway, to not get on another tangent here, I personally like it. These are not extra games that the players are playing. We talked about during the World Cup that some players were playing in the league, and then out of nowhere, boom, they have to start playing extra games in a different competition. This is not extra games. These games will matter to a certain extent because it'll affect the final seeding. It's still part of that 82-game schedule. They're just playing for this cup thing, which, again, it's still very weird to me because as an NBA fan, the ultimate glory is watching your team, right, win the NBA championship. But, it gives us something else to root for. Of course, I'll feel some type of way if the Heat don't win the NBA championship. But if they win the NBA Cup, I'm still going to be out there with pots and pans and, giving, just celebrating just like the same, right?
I think you're a Magic fan now.
Oh, my God. And then the thing, too, is it's the timing of this, I think, is perfect. It's at the beginning of the season where you have these superstars like Kawhi Leonard and even LeBron James sometimes sitting these games early in the season, resting these games, and this will give teams another reason not to sit those stars and have them on the court where every game matters now, almost, right? Almost. in those dates, right? November through December, like those dates where the cup tournament will take place. I'm not a big fan of the play-in tournament, but I am in favor of this. I think there's going to be better, more competitive basketball. Hopefully, like I said, it keeps the stars on the court instead of resting early on in the season, or instead of having teams, kind of sit their stars so that they can tank for a higher draft pick at the end of the season. I think it keeps that, in check, the checks and balances, if you will. And hey, championship basketball at the very beginning of the season, I think it's must-watch TV. That's how I feel. But of course, the players need to be compensated. The teams need to be compensated. If those allocations are like something else that has nothing to do with money, that's what moves this country anyway, right? That's what kind of changes things. I'm for it. I like it.
Jonka?
How am I gonna put this? This NBA Cup thing is the equivalent of a participation trophy for kids sports in general. This is like, I see no incentives for star players to like even care for this thing. Like, I'm looking at these groups right now, and it's ridiculous. They got the Lakers with the Suns, Grizzlies, Jazz, and Portland. But on the East, you got the Celtics, which you could say are the number 1 seed at this point, with the Nets.
Hey! Don't inflate his head like that. Don't give him that confidence.
You gotta put him up so then you gotta put him up so that the fall is very long. You got the Celtics, Nets, Raptors, Bulls, and Magic. Listen, if that's not a one-sided group for you, I don't know what is. But Adam Silver, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard of. There is no point to this. Just let them play. What's the whole point? If you remove the NBA Cup, it's still NBA games being played. You're giving this incentive for no reason. Like, it doesn't want to make the player want to play harder.
Yeah.
And plus, you're gonna make them play in Las Vegas, and the championship for the NBA Cup is in December 9th. Kids and students are in school at that time. No one's gonna fly to Las Vegas.
Superintendent Jonka.
What happened?
Superintendent Jonka of the school board.
Like, most of the fans are basically like, they're teenagers, like, young adults and some kids. They want to see their players play, but they're going to be in Las Vegas. Why would a kid go to Las Vegas? They can't gamble, they can't drink, they can't party. So there's no reason for them to go in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, that's another retarded ass idea. Excuse my language, but it's dumb.
Yeah. Hey, but I mean, the kids can see the spear though. That's something.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need a permit. I'm gonna need a waiver from your parents saying that you can go to Las Vegas to see the spear.
And plus, like, who's gonna want to?
Yeah, but also
any of these dumb matchups they're gonna put in for Vegas.
It's ridiculous. But what I would say is one thing, because I think the group part is really interesting though, because as I mentioned before, these are going to be games throughout November, every Tuesday and Friday. For the Miami Heat, because again, staying in South Florida, we're looking at their group: the Knicks, Bucks, Wizards, and Hornets. You're playing against New York and Milwaukee multiple times within 1 month. Like, I love when the NBA did rivalry week last year. Loved it. But this is a total different ball game, though. This is like its own series. And again, maybe like for Knicks fans, they're like, oh, we can beat the Heat out in this. It's a little bit more bragging rights. And again, it's all regular season games. If you took out the in-season tournament, it doesn't really matter. But in the sense of competition-wise, I mean, for me, again, I'm no fan of this thing, but I would love to see Milwaukee and the Heat go back-to-back games weekly like this. during 1 month. I think it's be a good thing for competition. I think it's a good thing for TNT and ESPN for their TV deals and broadcasting.
Exactly,
But yeah. But also, I mean, as John mentioned before, with the Western Conference, even the groups get even more competitive. I mean, we're talking about Nuggets, Clippers, Pelicans, Mavericks. And then you go on to the other side of Group C. I mean, that's like Wembanyama going against Anthony Edwards, Stephen Curry throughout that entire month multiple times.
De'Aaron Fox, Shea Gill, whatever his name is.
Yep, Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Chet Holmgren, if you guys haven't been watching the Summer League, Chet Holmgren will be back in his technical rookie year. So, and I think this is going to be a big matchup I think people are going to sleep on. But Holmgren against Wembanyama, the two 7-footers, the two a.k.a. Kevin Durant's, matching up multiple times in November. That will be fun to watch. I'll be watching that for sure.
I just think there's no point to it. I just think it's a money grab. What will become more important? What will be more prioritized by franchises? NBA Cup or NBA Finals? I mean, and the league goes, oh no, NBA Finals, of course. But okay, then why are you creating an NBA Cup? It doesn't. It's a business. It is a business.
We could be cynical about it all day. I completely agree with you guys. I completely agree with you guys.
All they want to do is get a regular plain jersey that they sell for $100, slap an NBA Cup sticker on it. It's an extra $50.
I was just, to be cynical about it, I was gonna take a shot at Danny and say that this is like El Copa del Rey. And I think Real Madrid has won a couple times, and it's just like an extra random trophy that they play in Dubai.
Listen, Isaac, let me show you what this is. This is what the NBA is doing currently. They're going like this. They want parents, as Jonka, the superintendent of the school board, explained here. They want the parents to get this little thing right here, right? And just let's get more money on the NBA. Oh, you didn't get the new NBA Cup logo on the jersey? Here's the credit card. Let's swipe.
I don't think that the NBA is looking for the parents' money in this scenario. They're looking for big, TV contracts, like you said, Brandon. We can be cynical about it. Absolutely, we can be cynical about it. And they're literally playing. They're going to be playing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, but I think
does not have a team. So
absolutely, and I think one of the biggest things now that we're talking about the idea of Adam Silver, and this is kind of one of my biggest issues because, of course, for what he's done for the league as commissioner since David Stern, he's been able to keep it up. Brand has been elevated with different players. But from what we've seen, what he's done with All-Star Weekend, the NBA All-Star Game, of course, now this in-season tournament, he's looking to grab attention as if this is a huge entertainment when it's more of a culture type of thing in the sense of basketball, especially men's basketball in the States. It's not working. Like the NBA All-Star Weekend is usually not good at all. From dunk contests to the actual game itself, it's been on decline. And then now from the playoffs, this play-in tournament, and now the in-season tournament, it's going to be a dumpster fire for the next 5 years. The only thing that people really care about is the playoffs. Honestly, I think now people only care about the playoffs. So I don't know about entertainment factor, but competition-wise, I think I like it.
Listen, I actually would not have a problem with this in-season tournament if it wasn't just a trophy. Like if we got something significant that we like for the playoffs or for like Daniel said at the beginning when he mentioned maybe you get like maybe first choice on a pick or you get more, I guess, like a better odds of getting the first overall pick. Maybe if you're the worst team in the league, you automatically don't become like I don't know, something that benefits you for the team for actually trying your hardest at winning this thing.
You know what I would think though? I think this is probably a really good one. Not only would the winning team and just the winning team get paid, they also get an additional first-round pick in the upcoming draft. It'll add an additional player onto the draft. It'll add another ping pong ball, whatever, to the lottery. And I think that, that's a reasonable fight for
ping pong ball.
Well, I mean, that's what the lottery is, basically. Let's not be wrong now. let's not be wrong, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that if it was for something in the draft wise, there'll be teams that again. I think this is also another tournament for teams don't tank during the middle of the season, especially in December. But I think this will be something that if you put some lottery perspective into it, teams that will be like, for example, Detroit, they're going to go fighting nonstop to get that thing. So
I like that idea.
I like that, but I would.
That's
the way
a good
I would
idea.
do it is, let's say, for example, like you said, Detroit. If let's say they win it, the NBA Cup, I would have it as okay. Let's say they get the second overall pick in the draft. That pick will be the value of 2 picks. So technically they get 2 and 3, but it was just you get 2 players for one pick.
okay.
Then you move on to number 3.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like that idea. And also, maybe, again, I know we're sticking on this one for a little bit too long, but maybe just in general, a lottery pick guaranteed. I don't know.
So
I like that idea.
and it's 3 against 1, pretty much.
Yep.
Isaac always has to be the odd one out, bro.
I just said that I like this. I do like the tournament, I guess, as opposed to you guys, but I do like the idea also of adding an incentive to win rather than an incentive to lose. So shut up, Danny.
I'm just saying, always the odd one out. But we're just gonna stick with you in our next topic. You want to give us the rundown on the UFC, 290?
Well, essentially, I looked at the main card, but one of the fights that before I get into the main card, it was the prelims. The final fight of the prelims was Nico Price, a veteran of the UFC, going against another veteran of the UFC in Robbie Lawler. And Lawler knocked him out in the very first round. He got his 30th career win, and he retired right after the fight. He's usually a very stoic, straight-faced, super focused guy, but man, once he said he was retiring and he starts talking to Joe Rogan, just the tears start flowing, and that was emotional for me because I've been watching him for a really long time. And I like the fact that he went out on top. You have all these veterans winking, at you, Danny, who kind of struggled to get wins after, year after year, and they're still in the games. And then, you have to commend them, right? Because they're competitive. But after a while, it's like, okay, it's time to hang it up. This guy went out on top, and I think that's the way to go out. Anyway, but the main card was really exciting. Bo Nickel got another victory. He's a young prospect, so now he's 5-0.
Hey, Isaac, I think you have a question there.
Can I ask a question? Go ahead. Yeah, you can definitely ask a question. We're getting a question from Twitch, so that's exciting. But I'll just finish real quick. The rest of the card was really exciting. You had 2 big championship fights. And the question that we're getting is, if you kill a mermaid, will it be considered murder or fishing?
What kind of question is that?
It's not a sports question, but it's an interesting question.
Well, fishing is sport. I mean,
I'll go with fishing. I'll go with, it's messed up, but I'll go with fishing.
I mean, you're killing it doesn't matter anyway. You kill
Well, look,
catch and release.
listen, here's my opinion, and I'll keep it at this. If it was the Disney version, then yeah, we'll go for murder.
I don't know. I watched that one documentary on April Fools for Animal Planet back in the day, and it's like, those things are not.
Bro,
that thing is not a person. Yeah, that one I remember. I was little watching that. That it is fishing. It is definitely fishing.
Yeah. Are you okay, Brandon? I think you're a little bit perplexed by this question.
No, because it's a good question. It's a really good question. I'm not gonna lie to you. Thank you for asking this on our channel. But man, what I feel again, I would feel terrible, fishing out a mermaid and all that. But is it really murder though? If it's a mermaid, you know what I mean?
And I got a question to ask. Based on the profile picture, I see
Oh,
you. I see you. Are you trying to tell us something? Because sheesh.
Hashtag mermaid lives matter.
Well, look, before I go back to UFC 290, Isabel, I'll leave you with a question. Is water wet?
That's a great question.
Isaac, I actually have a question for you about UFC 290.
Sure.
Did this actually happen that two fighters or a fighter and a coach shared a very intimate moment in the octagon?
You know, maybe this happened in the prelims. Maybe it happened before that. I don't know. I didn't see anything particular happen there between you said a coach and a fighter.
I'm sorry. I'm looking back at the answer.
Is it something you can put up? That's the
Depends on your definition of wet.
Hey, man, we're talking about UFC here, but this is really an interesting question. Wait,
are we gonna go back to answer UFC?
Wait, hold up. My last question before I let you talk about sports and stuff. How far does a bald guy wash his? Hold up, let's put it up here. How far does a bald guy wash his face? Does he imagine a line to mark his forehead, or does he wash his entire head?
I think just in case.
I would go entire head.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Hey man, that's not even Isabel. That's not even a hard question. I think that one is just common sense. I think you wash your entire head.
Yeah, because like, can you imagine you take off your hat and it's just like the line, like you know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be up here, but it's just dirt.
But isn't the scalp like a little bit different because it has the hair follicles? Isn't it like a different texture?
I don't know, Janka. Let's shave your head and see what happens.
We should do that.
It'd be a big experiment.
Live next episode.
Wait, hold up. If the Celtics win the NBA Cup or the finals, Janka's gonna shave his head.
No, thanks.
Well, so I think.
I don't understand.
All right. Google said they didn't understand. So hey, Isabel, there's your answer. Google said they don't understand. I think for the four of us, you have to wash your entire head. Well, anyways, yes, UFC 290. Supposedly there was a. No problem, Isabel. I hope you have a lovely evening. Supposedly there was two guys that shared an intimate moment. I saw it on Twitter. Supposedly it was like a thing. They're from South Africa. Supposedly it's a thing that they do in South Africa. I wasn't sure. Brandon knows. He's experienced it. He's like, oh yeah.
No, not that. I did see that, especially the confrontation after the.
Hey, Brandon, it's okay. We're accepting here.
No, I'm not from South Africa. I've never been to the continent, but I do remember the whole Izzy confrontation after one of the fights. I do apologize, dude. I forgot the guy's name, the fighter that ended up winning that fight.
Drukes du Plessis.
There we go. Yeah, I know it's more of a Dutch name because, of course, South Africa. But, yeah, that one, there was a lot of questions, especially when Dana White was asked a lot about the tensions going into that. That was like, I have no idea what was going on there. You know, I was just there just to see Volk, beat the crap out of Rodriguez. But, man, yeah, he really did. But, man, that was insane, though. That was insane.
Hey, Volk. There wasn't any really doubt, though. I knew Volk was going to show up and do what Volk does, so there wasn't really any doubt.
What's so crazy about Volk is, like, the fact that he used to be a rugby player, the fact that he was, like, 250 pounds at some point, and this guy now is 5'6", fighting at 145 pounds, just tossing people. You look at his back. His back is just so, like, he's got the striations. He's got all the muscles popping out. There isn't any other guy, probably any other human being on the planet that's 145 and looks the way that he does.
Yeah.
This is scary.
The guy's a boulder. He's an absolute boulder. He's a wrecking crew of a man. Whenever you hear, land down under, you got to run away. Immediately run away if you're in the octagon.
I don't know why. What you just said right now sounded so Conor McGregor. He's just a wrecking ball of a guy.
He's a wrecking ball of a guy. Yeah, it's just nah. But Volk, I mean, and again, there was a lot of great fighters on this card. I mean, it was, of course, international card.
Yeah.
But from Moreno, and then also the one that really got me though, because I was like, knocking out back and forth trying to watch this thing, and then I woke up off of the smack that Woodburn took from Nicole. That was ridiculous. The beating that he got later on, of course, it was KO, TKO, but. Insane. I literally woke up from that fight.
And I don't know if you guys watched the fight right afterwards. It was Dan Hooker and Jalen Turner. Dan Hooker ended up winning the fight, but at one point he took a leg kick to the face, and they showed the replay, the live replay with the sound, and it sounded like a baseball bat. I kid you not. It sounded like two wooden sticks just smacking. And somehow he survives and wins that fight. I think it was one of the best cards of the year, I think overall, in my opinion.
For sure. And the crazy thing about it went the whole way, 3 rounds and a decision,
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So with our remaining time of our episode 100, let's talk about the Miami Marlins, shall we? Man, they're heading into the All-Star break 53-39, second in the division, first in the National League wild card. Hats off to them. I didn't think this was going to happen. I like the moves they made in the offseason, but I didn't think they were going to be playing this well. Of course, Brandon's repping there with the Marlins hat. I'm impressed. And I think that they're going to get into the playoffs. And from there, we'll see. But as they said a couple years ago in 2020, they're the bottom feeders. But I really love the way they're playing baseball. It's exciting. And, of course, I love what I really love about this is seeing the attendance go up in Lone Depot Park.
No, you got to love it. You got to love it, man. I mean, what was it, like 18,000 people that showed up for one of the games in the last weekends? Before
it's reached 24,000.
24,000. It's getting bigger and bigger in Little Hialeah. I'm telling you right now, Little Havana. But I'm telling you, it's something that, again, for all of us that have lived in South Florida, I mean, I don't think I've seen big crowds since like 03 when it was like Joe Robbie / Sun Life / Stadium. I'd never seen big crowds at Lone Depot unless it was like, the World Baseball, Classic and all that. It's miraculous to see this team not only win games, but I'm watching some of these games. We're dominating some of these teams. I mean, if it wasn't for the Atlanta Braves right now, they're ahead of us in our own league. I mean, we probably would have been running around right now. Guarantee a playoff spot by sometime in August. I guarantee that probably is going to happen sooner than later, maybe even before September. But for the Marlins themselves, man, I mean, Sandy has shown up. I mean, Jazz Chisholm, even despite having some injury, the Marlins have been able to stick up and it just upheld themselves against some of the best competition in the sport. I mean, it's honestly miraculous to see. I mean, and again, I kid you not, it's because of the pinstripes. The Florida Marlin pinstripes that they brought back every Friday, I kid you not, it's got to be a little bit of that magic because there's no other way to explain this team. Definitely no other way.
Hey, look, before you go, there is one move that I don't know how I feel about it. They're bringing back up Johnny Cueto and they're sending down Yuri Perez. I don't know if I like that, to be honest. I thought Yuri was doing a great job, as a young kid. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Not too sure I like it.
Isaac, if you want.
I mean, I was not to change the subject, but Danny's always saying I live in Orlando, and I'm from Kissimmee, by the way. But one thing that's really annoying here is it's Orlando / Kissimmee, but there's so many Tampa Bay Rays fans, and
oh my god,
like they're 58-35. I'm just looking that up right now. And what an amazing accomplishment would it be if both of these teams, Marlins and Rays, go into, the MLB. I almost said finals, but the Marlins win. That would be so
MLB
amazing.
Cup.
And yeah, MLB Cup, and such a slap in the face to these Central Florida / North, baseball fans up here. It is so annoying. But anyway, no, as a Marlins fan, the one thing I will say is I really do hate that with like the 36-inch or whatever like size sandwich that they have there. I think it's absolutely ridiculous and need to get rid of that. But as far as the team, like on the field, I'll be honest, I'm still very, very skeptical to see what happens the rest of this season. But the fact that we are here now, getting the respect that we deserve from the rest of the league, with a great record, a great home attendance that has been increasing from the start of the season up till now, I think it's amazing what's happening. And we'll see what happens. I'm very skeptical, but I think this is a good start. To see winning seasons, for the next 2-3 years. We'll see how long this window is, but I'm excited.
Jonka?
I think we all know my history or my emotions with this team. And as I've had my problems, I've had my complaints, my wants and needs for this team. And lately, this season, they've been giving me what I've been wanting to see for years now, which is some stability, some hitting, and some pitching. Good thing, last night I was watching the MLB draft, like one of the only 10 people in the world that were watching it. But they picked up a right-hand pitcher and a left-hand pitcher. Shout out to them. I forgot your names, but hopefully that they're gonna build them up. They're gonna bring them in. Hopefully, give them a better bullpen. But I think the Marlins they're good right now. They're above average, but
Not just above average. They're above average.
Oh yeah.
Just saying above average in a different tone doesn't make them above average. Okay.
I mean, they're like what? More than 10 games above average? That's above average, buddy.
Yeah, you're proving me right. Above average.
Freaking Yankees
Just
suck.
saying it differently doesn't change.
The Yankees suck. The Yankees
I
suck.
know we suck. Want me to join the crew?
How do we get on the topic of Yankees? Hold on. We're all Mets haters here. Like, come on now.
Freaking sends me crap every day. Oh, look at what he's doing, this pitcher. Look at the way they're good. You're freaking third in your division.
Okay. Second of all, I think the Marlins are. I think they need a consistent hitter. I know Luis Arias is doing very good. George Soler is doing excellent, but Jorge, I don't know, however you want to say it. But we need some more consistent hitters on a daily basis. We can't just rely on Luis Arias every single game to be hitting above 400. I'm sorry.
I don't know about your take there, bro.
If he wasn't going on that hot streak, the Marlins might be down 10, maybe 5
Bro,
games.
I don't know about – look, Brian De La Cruz has stepped up. John Birdie has stepped up. I don't know if you're going to say this is all Luis Arias. I don't support that take.
Do you think if Luis Arias didn't have that many good games, that we'd still be at this point right now?
I mean, it was a help, but we're gonna say, take the guy's help away.
I'm just saying let's say the Marlins make the playoffs, maybe they're a first or second round exit. They coming back next year with the same squad, maybe an improved squad. But do you think Luis Arias will do it again? Go on this crazy streak again, which basically gave the Marlins like this big push to go above the 500.
That's why you pay good players. I mean, he was a good player before. That's why we paid him and got him here to do that. And look, he did it.
Yeah, but if I could just budge in real quick, though, I could also say that it's not only just like the hitting of the Marlins, but also the pitching of the Marlins, though.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, as crazy as this bullpen has been, because, of course, the whole story is sailing a college trial and all that stuff. But, man, the guys they got, I forgot the guy's last name. It's P-U-K. I know it's not Puke.
AJ Puck.
Puck, yeah. I remember going to the only Marlins game I went the entire season. It was against the Pirates. This guy comes out as the closer. He has a mixtape, lights flashing, pitch dark, on the screen, a highlight reel. The guy hasn't even got on the field yet. A highlight reel as he walks to the mounds. That's the type of talent we have right now in the bullpen. We're going to make highlight reels and confidently close out teams. So for the bullpen itself, I mean, you got to, again, give the credit when it's due. A lot of great hitting. But I think the bullpen, no matter what happens with Luis, I think it's going to stick for next season, maybe the season after that. Who knows?
I agree with you guys. Jonka's take was trash.
Quiet. I got a question. What would put us above the Braves right now, or whoever other top team there is in this league right now?
Beating the Yankees.
Definitely. Look, I think the Braves, like, for them, their outfielding is ridiculous. I think their infielders are ridiculous. I think defensively that team is just incredible. And, of course, they have, like, the MVP all-star type of cast that they have with Acuna and everyone. I mean, I think it's just more also a chemistry and just what's been going on in that organization. Like, they won the World Series not too long ago. You know what I mean? Of course, like, Freddie's not there and a bunch of other guys, but they still got a good core and a good roster that, for a good reason, is leading their league. So,
is there a position oh my bad. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say something in general, not even in specific to like what the one player that they need or they need to do this better or that better, but like on the field, right, in the positions. But I'll say overall, like, you look at their record, and the Marlins have the best home record in, by 3 games in the league, in the National League at least. When you look at their away record, they're like 23-21, and then they're 5-5 in the last 10 games. So they need to start winning away from home as well. I mean, their home record is great, but you can't win away from home where you're tested the most. You're not going to go far. I mean, almost in any sport, right? So I think they need to do better there because they're 23-21. That's not a good record.
To end this 100th episode off, I would just say I'm happy that they have a better record than the New York Yankees. That's all I'll say. I'm happy that the Marlins have a better record than the New York freaking Yankees. And that's all we have for you guys today. Episode 100 is in the books. We're going to get ready for another 100. We're on the way. 2 years to go to reach the other 100. We're on the way. Again, thank you guys so much for these 100 episodes. From all of us, from myself, from Isaac, from Brandon, from Jonka, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week for episode 101. Have a great